everyone and welcome to my channel, Ara's Life on Budget. Ara here. In case this is the first time on my channel, then welcome. I am a student who lives with her parents and has a part-time job, and I recently started a budgeting journey using the cash stuffing method. So in case you're interested in seeing how things work for me, then keep on watching. Hi everyone, today we have a kind of a different type of video because as you can see I don't have any binder in front of me. I will in just a couple of seconds, but before doing that I needed to explain a little bit what we're gonna do today, because I guess you can see my computer right in front of me. I guess yes you can. There is a reason why I have my computer right in front of me, and the reason is because we're gonna need that, because today we are gonna work on this. Now what we're gonna do today is we are going to create a budget for my Korea trip using all the categories they already have inside this binder. Now first of all, don't judge, because I tried painting this first envelope and I was like, if I like it I'm gonna paint all the others, but I didn't really like it. I don't know how it looks on camera. Yeah, no, I don't really like it, so I decided not to go on with it. But anyway, so these are the categories that we will be working on, and for each one of these categories we will try to come up with a budget. Okay, so essentially what we will need to save in order to live for this trip without any worries, and just enjoy and spend money without having to think about what we have left in our wallet or a credit card and so on. Now one thing I want to say is that I still don't have any actual plans for this trip. Like nothing is still decided, but I am starting to come up with an idea of the kind of things that I want to do, the kind of places I want to visit, everything that I want to do, an itinerary or itinerary, I don't know how you say that in English, either itinerary or itinerary of the things that I want to do and see in Korea. And that allowed me to start coming up with possible budgets for each one of these categories. And I think that these are fine, because I saw other videos, I went online, I made my research, and I guess that these selection of categories that it shows should be perfect for the trip. Like we should cover everything that we need to cover. Good news, I found out that, I mean, I was looking online and I'm thinking of leaving for this trip in May, because I feel like that's the best time of the year to live for Asia. In case you don't know, in Asia, I don't know if it's all everywhere in Asia or just in Korea, but I know that in Korea they have very cold winters and very hot summers, but at the same time they have the rainy seasons that happen between June and July, if I'm not mistaken. So I thought that maybe going between April and May would be the best choice. Now I would have loved to decide to live in April, but I think that I am going to be busy with school and my job in that period of time, so I just decided to go for May for a couple of weeks. That's the idea. The idea is to live for at least 15 days. And when I was looking online for the price of the tickets, I found out that and this is the best part, I can already afford one ticket both ways for one person. And I was so tempted to buy it, because I was like, oh my god, I have the money. I do have the money to buy this ticket right now. but I couldn't because in case you don't know, I need to buy the tickets, the flight tickets, both for me and for my best friend, so I need to save some more money in order to pay for her as well. Yeah, and I explained the reason a couple of times, but it's essentially a present for her graduation, so I'm gonna gift her a trip somewhere, and she's gonna do the same for me when I do graduate. So the flight is already covered essentially. But anyway, so for this occasion I did make up this table. Let me make sure that you can see it. Yes, we're in frame. I don't know if we're centered. I hope we are. I am. I'm the only one. But anyway, so this is the table that we will use to come up with this budget, and as you can see, I made six actually charts or tables, whatever you want to call them, that represent each one of the categories that we have here apart from flights. So we have transportation, accommodation, food and drink, adventures, shopping, and miscellaneous. That's it. And I also have a couple of notes that I took while I was researching, so we're gonna keep this next to us because this is gonna be essential for the creation of this budget, because this is the itinerary that we will be following once we go in Korea. So let me grab my pen, and for the occasion I'm gonna use my beautiful sloth pen. Oh, so cute. Take it easy. Oh, I can't take it easy because if I do take it easy, I will never leave for Korea, and I need to make this trip happen, so I can relax. Anyway, so the itinerary is for 2 weeks, and the idea, according to what I read online, is to visit different places at different times. So my idea was to go to Seoul, or Seoul, whatever you want to call it. I discovered that the right pronunciation is Seoul because I started studying Korean, because I want to go there and speak Korean. So Seoul for 5 days, and then from there move to Busan for 2 days, which should be enough to visit the city, and then from Busan move to Gwangju for 2 days, and if I'm not mistaken, according to my research, Busan and Gwangju should be close to each other, and then from there leave for Jeju, which is an island, so the island of Jeju for 3 days, and then from there go to Jeongju. And I really didn't get, I might have to make some more research about it, but I didn't really get where this is located. I don't know if it's in Jeju or if it's close to any of these other places, but everyone said to go to Jeonju or another city next to Jeonju, which is very similar, but everyone said go there because it's beautiful. And I think that 1 day or half a day should be fine, and by adding up all these days, 5 days, 2 days, 2 days, 3 days, and 1 day, the whole trip equals to 14 days. So that is perfect for me. So this is the main idea, and it's important to know because we need to have it in mind, keep it in mind when we work on the budget. So I would say let's start filling this in. I don't know if I'm gonna zoom you in. I guess I will when I edit. So let me make sure that I'm in frame. Yes, I am. Destination, of course, Korea, and I'm gonna try and write it in Korean. Don't judge my writing. So there you go. Hanguk. This should be right. Hanguk, Korea. And don't judge my writing, please. Travel dates, as I said, I already look for it. I still don't know the exact time, but it should be around May, so I'm gonna write down May 24 for 15 days. Okay, so we need to start with transportation, and this is probably going to be the easiest one to look for. I have all the prices listed here, so we should be fine. I have my calculator right next to me. Tony and Dante are right next to me, So yeah, we should be fine. Okay, the first thing that we need to look for is the flight, like I said already. So let's write it down, flight. And like I said, now the price differs depending on the company, of course. You already know all of these things, I don't need to tell you, but the average price is around 700 euros for one ticket both ways. Yeah, direct flights. Okay, so 700, considering that I need to pay both for me and my best friend, that means that the price is around 1,400 at best. So I'm gonna round up, and I'm gonna round up everything. So this is just overestimation, I don't know how you say it, of things. So the actual final budget could differ a lot. Actually, let me know if you think this is an overestimated budget, if I can go down in some areas or not. Let me know your thoughts. But anyway, as a flight, I'm gonna write down 1,500 because I feel like that's the most accurate I can get. And then the first thing that we're gonna look at is the transportation from the airport to the city of Seoul. And for that, I looked online, and you can either get a train. Actually, they do suggest the train because I only wrote that down, and the price goes between 4,951 up to 9,000 won, which, according to my research, equals to around 7-ish euros. So I'm just gonna write down, I don't know, shuttle. I don't even know if that's the right way of calling it, but I'm gonna call it like that, and I'm gonna write down 10, of course, euros, although everything is gonna be in won in reality. And then we have to take a look at the various places we want to visit. So like I said, we want to go from Seoul to Busan, and that's already one trip, and then from Busan to Gwangju, and then from Gwangju to Jeju, and then so on and so forth. So from Seoul to Busan, we will surely need the train, and that is around 100 euros. And then from Busan to Gwangju, we can take the bus because that's pretty close, so 50. So let me, before I forget, so 100 plus 50. And then from Gwangju to Jeju, we will need the ship, of course. So I'm gonna say another 100. I don't think it's gonna be that expensive, but just in case, I'm gonna write down 100. And then we have to go from Jeju to Jeonju, and then probably back to Seoul. So I'm gonna write down other 2 train tickets for a total of 450 euros that I'm gonna write down. So I'm gonna write train, buses, and that is 450. So I'm just gonna write down 500 euros. Again, I'm estimating. And then the last thing that we have to consider for transportation is everything within the city, you know. I read online that although Seoul is pretty big, if you find the right route to follow, then you can avoid using any means of transport. But just in case, I looked online for possible solutions for that, and you have 3 possibilities. One is the daily ticket, which is 10,000 won, which equals 7,000, oh my god, 7 euros, 15. But I don't think that's the best choice, honestly. Another choice would be the tourist ticket, and that is for multiple days. So I guess that the price varies depending on how many days you pay for. I guess. And then you have the last choice, which I think is the best one, which is buying this 𝚘money, which is essentially a rechargeable card where you can put the money in, and so you can choose, you can keep on using the card until the credit on the card ends. And for what I looked for online, you can buy one 𝚘money card for 4,000 won, or you can get two for the price of 7,000 won, which, if I'm not mistaken, 7,000 won equals 5 euros. Let me check. Should I do that in dollar? I don't think I should do that in dollar. So 7,000 won, yes, 493. So I'm gonna write 𝚘money card. I think this is the best choice, honestly. This is very easy to recharge. All you have to do is look for a machine and put the money in and recharge it. The only thing that they said, the only negative side is that it cannot be recharged through credit card. You have to have cash. That's probably the only thing, but whatever. So I'm gonna write down 5 euros for that, and then an extra of, I would say, I don't even know, like 40? Could that be enough to recharge the card? And I think that's it. We did look at the flight, we did look at the trains, we did look at the shuttle, we did look at the buses and everything. So yeah, that's it for transportation. So let's see how much I should save for that. I'm curious and scared and worried. So 1,500 for the flight, plus 10 for the shuttle, plus 500 for the train and buses, and then 5 for the 𝚘money card, and then the recharge of 40 equals 2,055 euros. That is scary. That is scary high. Let me write it down. Should I leave to 55 or should I change it to... I'm gonna leave it like that as of now, and then depending on how much the flights actually come out to be, I'm gonna change it. But in the meantime, let's write down 2050. And that is it for accommodation. Let me go grab a cup of water because my throat, I don't know what's going on, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so moving on, we have accommodation, so we have to take a look at that. Now, we are thinking of changing multiple places because we want to make, you know, the best out of this trip, and we really want to try and experience everything that we can possibly experience in Korea. So I looked for different solutions for accommodation, and again we have 3 possible choices. One would be a hostel, and the price is really cheap because it is 20 euros per person, so that's really cheap. But then we have another option, which is the one that we are going for, which is the hotel, like a simple hotel, and the price is around 35 euros per room. So that means that, okay, let's wait a second, let me before doing that, there's the last choice that we really want to consider and we want to do, which is the traditional Korean house, the hanok. Now, Korea offers the possibility to stay in one of these houses as in a hotel, and I think that that is such a cool idea, and me and my friend were thinking of spending at least 1 to 2 nights in one of these hanok, just to, you know, experience the traditional life in Korea. Oh my god, even thinking about it I get so excited. The thing is that this is pretty expensive. The price is 150, between 100 and 150 per room, but it's only for a couple of nights, and honestly I really want to do it all on this trip. And if I'm not mistaken, there's also the chance to stay in a temple, and I want to do that. Like, if you can actually do that, stay in a Buddhist temple for the night, I really want to do that as well. Now let's see, so we are spending there a total of 15 days, which means 14 nights. But of these 14 nights, we want to spend 2 in an hanok, I think. I don't know if my pronunciation is good, I'm sorry. So I'm gonna write it down. How do you spell it? I don't know how you spell it in Korean. Like this. I think this is correct. Hanok, for 2 nights. So that leaves us with 12 nights, and maybe 1 in a temple if we can, but in the meantime we're gonna say 12 nights, and we have to change multiple hotels in the meantime. So of course, once again, I can't really say the exact price that we will have to pay for, but let's say hotel and then hanok. I'm just gonna write hanok like this. So if we stay in a hotel, I'm gonna say 40 just to round up, for 14 days. Yes, 14, no, 12. That equals 480, but that needs to be divided by 2 because we're both paying for that, and that is 240 euros. Really? That cheap? I mean, I stayed in England, I went to London, and I paid like 500 euros for a week, and now you're telling me that for 12 days I only need 240 euros? That sounds too good to be true. Too good to be true, but okay, I'm gonna write it down. I'm gonna write down 300, and then we'll see. And then for the hanok, 150 for 1 night, so that means the 2 nights is gonna be 300. And once again, I'm just making an estimation. These are not the right prices, so the total would be 600 euros in total. So that's it for accommodation as of now. So we took care of that. I hope this is not boring. I hope this is not boring for you, because I needed to do this anyway, and I don't know, like, taking care of it really makes me feel like I'm already actually getting ready for this trip, you know. It makes me feel like this trip is actually happening. It's not just a dream, it's not just my imagination. So I hope that you find it interesting somehow. But anyway, now we come to the difficult part, because if for these 2 categories we could come up with an idea, for these we really cannot. It's just gonna be a guess. So food and drink now. Okay, when it comes to that, you can either choose to go at a fancy restaurant, or you can choose to go in, you know, I think they call it 맛집. I think that's what they're called in Korean, not too sure, but basically these are like traditional restaurants where they give you like their traditional dishes, or you can try, you know, at the market, you can buy junk food. So really we have a lot of options. And if you choose to go for the cheap ones, the price is between 20,000 won and 25,000 won, which equals around 20 euros per day. Whereas if you choose to go at an expensive fancy restaurant, the price goes up to 40 euros a day. So let's see. This is difficult. This is really difficult. Okay, so we have to eat for 14 days. Let's say that out of actually 15, unless we consider what we will be eating on the plane. In that case, it's gonna be like 11-ish day. I'm gonna say 12. So let's say that out of these 12 days, 10 times we eat at like a normal place, like a traditional restaurant. So that means around 200 euros probably. I don't know. I really don't know. Food, I'm gonna say 200. But then let's say that a couple of times we choose to go at a fancy restaurant, which, to be honest with you, I don't really see neither myself nor my friend wanting to go to a fancy restaurant in Korea. But anyway, I'm gonna say 40 euros for that. Let's say even 50, so let's say 100 for that. And let's say that we go out and we want to eat just random stuff. I'm gonna say another 100, which sounds like way too much. I'm gonna call it random, but anyway. And then we have to consider drinks. Now, when it comes to drink, Korea is huge on alcohol and stuff like that. None of us really drink. I don't drink that much, my friend doesn't drink that much, so I'm not really gonna consider that. But Korea is also famous for cafes, and I really want to try one of those cafes in Korea. So I guess I'm gonna give myself 50 for that, because I don't think that those are that expensive. Yeah, this sounds like way too much money for food, but anyway. So the total should be 450 as of now for food. Is that enough? Is that too much? Let me know in the comments, because I really don't know. But yeah, this sounds fine. Now, adventures. Adventures means, you know, all the visits that I can do, that I can come up with to temples, royal palaces. And I saw that there's really a lot to see in Korea. There's the War Memorial. They have a lot of different neighborhoods which are famous for their markets, like Gwanghwamun, Nangdaemun, and a lot of other places. But the good thing is that majority of those are free, so you really don't need a lot of money, I would say. But I still want to give myself money, because you never know what's gonna happen. So as of now, I'm gonna budget 200 for that, and I'm gonna say random. And again, I don't know if this is enough. Now, this might change a lot once I have an actual idea of what we are going to see and what we're not gonna see. But yeah, as of now, I'm just gonna give myself 200 for that, just to make sure. You know, maybe one day we decide to go in a specific place and we want to have a specific tour or something, and then we will need money for sure. So 200. And now shopping. Now, for this, I really want to go all in. I want to give myself all the money in the world to spend, because Korea is famous for skincare, makeup, music, a lot of stuff, fashion. So I really want to buy anything that I want to. I don't want to ever tell myself no for this trip. So I'm gonna say 500. 200 euros, that's really crazy, that's a lot. But yeah, I want to give myself a lot of money to spend because I want to spend money. Oh, and also, you know, in shopping, I want to consider souvenirs. Yeah, I'm gonna write it down. Skincare, makeup, clothes. What else? I really don't know. Merch in general, I have no idea. But yeah, so that's probably gonna come up to a lot of money, so 500 sounds okay. And lastly, we have miscellaneous. Now, as of miscellaneous, I just want to keep this as like a buffer, you know, just to make sure that anything that I didn't plan, so any unplanned purchase comes up, you know, any expense, I can cover it using this money. Or even if for any reason I go short in any of these other categories, I can get the money from here. So this is gonna be like a buffer. I'm gonna use this in case, let's say I need another luggage, or let's say that we overcome the limit for wait at the airport, we're gonna have to pay. So I want to make sure that I have money. Oh, my passport, actually I do need the passport. Let me write it down. Actually, I'm gonna write it here so that I remember. And I think that that's the first thing that I want to take care of, the passport, because I don't have it. So I'm gonna give myself another 200 here just to make sure. And again, this might change, everything might change, but at least we have an idea. So I would say now let's add everything up and let's see how much the grand total for this trip is. And I'm scared. So we have 2,050 for transportation, 600 for accommodation, 450 for food and drinks, adventures 200, shopping 500, and miscellaneous 200. Are you ready? The total is 4,000 euros. Wow, that's a whole number. I love it. Okay, wow, 4,000 euros. Honestly, looking at it now, 4,000 euros feels impossible for me to reach. Like, consider that I get paid 800 euros per month, so that means that I would need 5 months. I would have to work for 5 months to be able to afford this trip. But consider that of what I get, only a specific percentage goes towards this, maybe 10%. So I might have to find another job. I'm actually thinking of possible side hustles that I could try. I want to try and sell stuff myself on Etsy, but I really don't know if that would be a good idea. Actually, let me know if you have any ideas for possible side hustles, because as you can see, I need it. I really do. But anyway, so this is the budget for my Korea trip. Again, everything might change. I really don't know. I hope it wasn't too boring for you, but I really wanted to make this on camera so that you can, you know, have a vision, give me your opinions, and actually you can give me your experiences. If you have been to Korea, or if you have ever done any other like huge trip like this to the other side of the planet, let me know. They say that Korea is pretty cheap. You don't really need a lot of money to spend 2 weeks in there, so that's why I am not that worried. But still, let me know what you think, and let me know if this is too much money for you, or if this is fine, if I need to adjust any of these categories. And yeah, I guess that is all that I had for you today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please consider leaving a like to the video, a comment, subscribing to the channel, and I guess that I'll see you in the next one.